Coming up on this edition of the Bluffton News, we'll take a look at the benefits of teaching your baby sign language, and we'll learn about a unique way you can face your fears. All that and, of course, the latest headline business and entertainment news right now on the Bluffton News. Welcome to the Bluffton News. I'm Anneliza Itkor, and these are Bluffton's current headlines. The Beaufort County Board of Education voted to begin holding half of its meetings in the southern part of the county to make it easier for residents to attend. While the first board meeting of each month will continue to be held in Beaufort County Council chambers, the second meeting of each month will now be held at the Hilton Head Island Public Library. The first meeting scheduled at Hilton Head will be at 6 p.m. on February 19th. The Bluffton Public Library might be a second option for board meetings in the future. The main stumbling block is that Bluffton Library closes at 5 p.m. on Tuesday nights, and board meetings are held on the first and third Tuesdays of each month. All board meetings will still be available for live viewing on the Beaufort County Channel, and past meetings will still be archived on the County Channel's website. Plans to build a massive geriatric care facility in Bluffton are expected to receive a sizable boost if a pending partnership is forged with a Beaufort Memorial Hospital subsidiary. The Pace Healthcare Commons has struggled to raise capital. One financing deal fell apart, which in part forced project developers to ask state regulators for more time. In response, the DHEC board granted the project 9-month extensions on 2 of the 4 certificates of need. The complex is slated for a 16-acre parcel with south frontage on Bluffton Parkway, half a mile from the west termination at SC 170. The DHEC board's vote in favor of giving Pace more time is the latest step forward in growing the Bluffton area's increasingly lush medical landscape. Elementary school students will start growing accustomed to seeing law enforcement officers on campus with the beginning of a new program this week. Beaufort County Sheriff P.J. Tanner thinks that the new program, which will give 16 deputies additional responsibilities as part-time school resource officers, will make young children more comfortable around law enforcement and more likely to come forward with safety concerns. The new elementary school patrols will be an excellent addition to the district's overall safety procedures, which include electronic admission systems for visitors, keyless card access for staff, locked classroom doors during the instructional day, and more. Bluffton area crime statistics from 2012 indicate rises in theft-related incidents, while the schedule of less serious felonies and misdemeanors continue its 4-year decline. According to year-end statistics in 2012, robberies totaled 14, while burglaries rose from 59 to 74, and theft grew from 324 to 379. The entire schedule of Part 1 crimes, which includes more serious felonies such as homicides as well as the theft-related offenses, increased 21% to 510. Bluffton Police Chief Joey Reynolds, who started here in September, said the spike in thefts and burglaries is his main concern with the data, adding he plans to address it in a new strategic plan for the department expected in the coming months. The town of Bluffton announced the hiring Friday of its first public information officer. Debbie Svenka has lived in Bluffton for nearly 16 years, working in various capacities as a television reporter, public information officer, executive director, and director of public relations and marketing for nonprofits, according to the town of Bluffton. She is also a freelance writer for several area publications. A graduate from the University of Alabama with a bachelor's degree in public relations, Svenka is active with the Zonta Club of Bluffton, a graduate of the Hilton Head Bluffton Chamber of Commerce's leadership program, and involved in various animal advocacy organizations. Svenka will earn an annual salary of $46,496. She starts January 31st. And here's what's happening around the state. Human remains were discovered after officers shot and killed Chad Moritz, 34 of Rincon, at his home in suburban Savannah on Friday. More remains were found in a storage unit in Jasper County, South Carolina. Investigators believe the body parts were those of an acquaintance of Moritz, 35-year-old Charlie Ray, whose relatives reported him missing from Savannah on New Year's Eve. The theory is that Moritz killed the man and dismembered the body to hide it. Then when officers showed up to investigate, he grabbed an assault rifle to hold officers at bay. day. Investigators learned during the standoff that a body might be inside the Moritz home, so they used thermal imaging equipment to find the body parts once it ended. Authorities have yet to determine a motive for Ray's death, and it might be difficult to do so because both the suspect and victim are dead. A former candidate for Oconee County Sheriff is suing several people he says are involved in getting him arrested on an attempted kidnapping charge. James Barty's lawsuit accuses an informant of setting up his arrest. Barty has denied the charge he tried to get the informant to kidnap a retired judge to prevent him from appearing at a hearing in May. Barty's suit says the chief prosecutor in Oconee County conspired with her husband and other law officers and candidates for sheriff. Barty withdrew from the race before the June primary. For more information on these headlines and more, please check out the media sources you see listed on your screen. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Coming up, Lynne Hummell of the Bluffton Sun has an insider's view of what's making news as the Bluffton Sun brings you hot off the presses, and Shellie West-Hodges brings us the Bluffton Business Report when we return with more Bluffton news.
The smoked chipotle burrito is really good.
Yeah, my zesty cheesesteak burrito is great.
Are you familiar, Pete, with the phrase, don't mess with success?
Yeah.
Because this is not only messing with success, this is taking success to the cliff and shoving success over.
Success said, oh, please, don't do anything. Leave me alone.
These burritos didn't even hear that. They heard, oh, put, and that was it. It was just like, wah. Egg everywhere.
Wake up to sirloin steak and fluffy eggs with the new zesty cheesesteak and smoked chipotle breakfast burritos. This is how you Sonic.
Welcome back to the Bluffton News. Joining me is Lynne Hummell of the Bluffton Sun. So Lynne, last week there was a community meeting that addressed the overcrowding issue at Bluffton Middle Schools. What's the latest?
Well, the 27-member Bluffton Community Committee that met last Thursday first heard an overview about the overcrowding problem and heard a little more about one of the options that had come up during a preliminary November meeting. And that option would move the 6th graders to 3 elementary schools, which would create a need for mobile classrooms at each of those schools at a cost of about $1.5 million, according to the school district officials. The option would also send 7th through 9th graders to Bluffton and McCracken Middle Schools. Now currently the 6th and 7th graders go to Bluffton Middle, with 8th and 9th graders going to McCracken, so there would likely be some additional costs to add high school courses for the 9th graders at Bluffton Middle.
Now, obviously, there is still a lot more discussion to be had. When is the next meeting going to take place?
The next meeting will be at 6 p.m. Thursday at Bluffton Middle. The members of the committee were asked to come up with more ideas for discussion at that meeting, and they expect some short-term solutions by March and some long-term solutions by May.
That's good. I know this is it's a tough situation, but the good news is Bluffton's growing, and so it's kind of a happy problem to be solved.
It is, isn't
now,
it?
less happy are the people in Bluffton over this whole firefighter issue. The Bluffton Township Fire Departments want to hire more firefighters, but there's a big debate. What's going on with that?
Well, it seems it's not as much a debate as it is a concern over potential tax increase for all residents for a solution to a home insurance rate increase for residents in Colleton River Plantation and Palmetto Bluff. And the Bluffton Fire Department wants to add 24 new firefighters to cover those two communities 24/7. So, because each of them only currently have an unmanned station, and that's why their home insurance rates went up. Now, the department told County Council that paying overtime between now and then to man those stations would cost about $200,000 for just a few months, and plus more than $300,000 to hire and train new people, plus about $1.3 million in salaries and benefits over the next year. So if council approves the plan, there could be a tax increase for all Bluffton residents to cover those additional costs.
That's a pretty big chunk of change,
It
and I
is.
know that taxes are such a sensitive topic. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Now, speaking of firefighters who are kind of the heroes of our area, we have another type of hero. I understand that a Bluffton man received the Red Cross certificate for heroism.
That's right. Back in July, Frank, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Frank, Szezpenik was walking past the pool at Mill Creek Plantation and saw what he thought was a doll floating in the water, and thinking that a child had lost her toy, he reached in to grab it and discovered that it was a baby girl. She was not breathing, she was blue, and so he performed CPR and she regained consciousness and is fine now. And last week, he was awarded a Certificate of Merit signed by President Barack Obama, who is the honorary chairman of the American Red Cross, and local Red Cross officials presented the award at last week's Bluffton Town Council meeting.
Well, congratulations, Frank. It sounds like that is well-deserved. Lynn, thanks so much.
Thank you.
On today's Bluffton Business Report, Shellie West-Hodges is helping us ring in a happy, healthy new year. Shellie, I understand there's an event coming up at which local folks can explore all kinds of healthcare options.
Yes, ma'am. We're having a health fair on January the 29th, and that is being hosted by the Greater Bluffton Chamber of Commerce over on Goethe Road in downtown Bluffton. We have Beaufort Memorial coming with their mobile medical unit, and they're going to be doing free health screens, and this is a community service, and it's open to the public, and it's going to be from 9 to 3. Actually, the mobile unit will be there 9 to 1. We also have Candler will be there, some folks that are specialized in Medicaid and Medicare, also Hospice of the Low Country, Volunteers in Medicine, different groups around town to really give folks pointed in the right direction.
I think it sounds like a fantastic event because not only can they get a lot of free healthcare information, but also with all of the changes that are going to be happening with health insurance across the country, it sounds like we'll be able to get a lot of questions answered.
You're right, and we'll also have some folks there from Blue Cross Blue Shield and Prudential who actually are there to answer questions about Obamacare and some of the changes that are coming up.
All right. Well, that helps keep people healthy. Now, how about the opportunity for local restaurants to keep their businesses healthy?
Yeah, we are really working to help get our area restaurants some exposure and really focus on low country cuisine. And we have the Taste of Bluffton coming up April 13th. And the Greater Bluffton Chamber is looking for vendors at this point. You just call the chamber if you're interested in participating. And that is, we're hoping for several thousand people for this event. This will be an annual event for the area to promote tourism.
You know, this really gives a great opportunity to our viewers to take advantage of some terrific prices and try out new restaurants. And I have to say, you know, Restaurant Week is actually a statewide thing. It's always been a big deal on Hilton Head. It's very exciting to see Bluffton pick up the tradition because I have to admit some of my favorite restaurants these days are in Bluffton. Yes, we have a lot of great area restaurants, and this is really a way for it to be just about the restaurants. Have a street fair. It's going to be at the Bluffton Village across from our local post office, and we think that's going to be great exposure for our community as well. Now, what is the deadline for local restaurants to sign up for Restaurant Week? March the 1st. Okay, and can you hand out that information on what they contact, how they get in touch? Now they can call the chamber at 757-1010. We also have tasteofbluffton.com, and they can also go to our Facebook page for Taste of Bluffton as well. Terrific. Shellie, thank you so much. Thank you. When we return, sign language for babies, and Tom Viljac gives us all the info on the Face Your Fears race that's going to be happening in Bluffton in February. It's all on this edition of the Bluffton News.
Tara's Men's Den, located beside Tara's Salon at the Moss Creek Village, is a full-service salon for men only. Open Monday through Saturday from 9:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. We offer haircuts, color, highlights, waxing, and treatments for hair loss. No appointment necessary, so come enjoy a relaxing atmosphere for men only, and don't forget senior discounts every Wednesday. Call or visit us today. Our number is 843-837-5555.
Welcome back to the Bluffton News. Sarah Sanders from Little Sprouts Christian Child Care Center joins us with some interesting tools to help improve your child's communication skills. Now, Sarah, we're going to be talking about sign language, and my mother always teases me that if you cut off my hands, I would be mute.
Same here.
What I would like to know is, what are the benefits of teaching your child sign language?
Well, there's several different benefits. You have less frustration, crying and tantrums, enhanced language development, and enhanced bonding. In regards to the tantrums, children are still going to have tantrums, but their crying, it seems to be less because they're able to sign what they're feeling, wanting, needing. The enhanced language development, it helps with that because we're all born with a one single language center in our brain on the left side, but signing opens a language center on the right. So it develops two language centers, so the child is able to do multi-language, so signing as well as just regular speaking.
Now, how do you teach a baby to sign when they can't even speak?
That's a good point. You do it just everyday movements. The first sign that most babies learn that parents don't even realize they're teaching their child is bye-bye. You just do it in everyday movements. If grandma comes over to visit and she goes to leave, you know, just when you speak the word, you sign it. So bye-bye, thank you, things like that. So you just use it in your everyday speaking.
One thing I'm curious about, because this does seem like a great way to help a baby or a toddler communicate better. However, if they become reliant upon signing, is that going to interfere with a baby's speech and language development?
It will not. Usually, the sign language, learning the words helps develop the ability to vocalize and to use the vocabulary. And most children, once they learn how to speak, they stop using the signs, but many times they may use the signs while they speak. But it does enhance the vocabulary and it broadens their vocabulary as well.
Okay. Now, Sarah, can you give us some information on how we can learn more about getting our children signed up for this, or maybe even parents finding a class where they can learn how to teach their child?
You can obviously go online. The World Wide Web has everything you need. I use babysignlanguage.com. Any questions, you can come by the center, Little Sprouts, and I would love to talk with you and help you. And if you have an infant or a toddler interested in learning, you can definitely sign them up to be part of our program.
Thanks. Well, my mom would say that this gives a whole new meaning to talking with your hands, Sarah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This February, a new kind of mud run is coming to Bluffton, and here to tell us all about it is the man behind the Face Your Fears mud run, Tom Viljac. Tom, welcome.
Welcome, Anneliza. Thank you for having me.
Well, first of all, let's start off with what is a very interesting name. What is Face Your Fears, and what is the race's mission statement?
Face Your Fears is a foundation that we created to support the special operations groups in all branches of the military. And the mission statement is basically never quit. The only easy day was yesterday, because they do just that every night while they're working.
Well, I know that a lot of the concept of Face Your Fears Mud Run has been drawn from military concepts. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, basically what it is between the obstacles and the popularity of mud runs and people in general doing recreational extreme events or extreme events specifically, it's geared to the market of people looking outside the box so they can test themselves on different levels physically and mentally.
Now, when and where is the race being held?
It is being held February 23rd and 24th at Palmetto Bluff, more specifically on Crescent Resources LLC's property, Moreland Landing, which is about 2.5 miles south of the village.
Now, tell us a little bit more about what's going to set this mud run apart from other foot races.
Well, I've been competing in these races for quite a while now, for a little over 2 years, training 7 days a week, and I thought that the best way to become familiar with this kind of event is to really get into it and be a participant and see what it takes to do it. The popularity is huge nationally now in the past 5 years, and it requires a lot from an individual to just complete a given course. But when you finish, it has such a gratifying feeling, especially for these charities groups. Most of them are private sector businesses, and that's not the case in this endeavor.
Wow. Now, how does someone register for the event or find out more about it?
Well, what you would do is go to faceyourfearsbluffton.com. Feel free to call me, but faceyourfearsbluffton.com is the avenue to register. It has both the logistics map of how to come and go from Palmetto Bluff to get to the site, and also the course map, which illustrates the routing of the course.
It's so exciting, Tom. We're really, really excited about this event coming to Bluffton, and looking forward to hearing more about it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anneliza. We really appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. We appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Absolutely. Thank you.
After the break, Rodney, Vaughn, and you'll meet our special Bluffton News Pet of the Week.
Okay, so it's a romantic dinner for two. Now, I've already cut some tomato. Time for the vinaigrette. You are going to love this. Okay, we need some sesame seeds. My favourite pan. Now, what's really important is...
With Merillat cabinets, you'll discover function that's irresistible.
Good thing I'm not the jealous type.
Welcome back. Today, Rodney Vaughn has the lowdown on the annual Bluffton Rotary Oyster Roast.
Thanks a lot, and I'm here today with Michelle Cleland. She's friend and fellow Rotarian of the Bluffton Rotary Club. And we want to talk a little bit about the Bluffton Rotary Annual Oyster Roast.
Yes.
Now, Michelle, this is a fundraiser for the Rotary Club to fund their regular activities throughout the year.
Yes.
And they've been doing it for a long time.
Yes, it's been over 20 years that they've been bringing this to the Low Country, a great time.
Okay, and we usually have big crowds, like 300 or 400 people, actually.
And hopefully this year we're expecting more.
Well, the weather's going to be super great. We can count on that.
Mm-hmm.
And the event's going to be Saturday, January the 26th. And where's it going to be held?
It's going to be held at the Bluffton Oyster Factory, and it is from 5 to 8 on January 26th on Saturday night. So perfect time to watch the sunset.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's right down at the Oyster Factory on the May River, and it is really pretty. There's a bonfire and a lot of things going on. We have music as well.
We do. We have Low Country Boyle playing, which is a great band. They've been here for a long time, and if you haven't heard them, you need to come out and hear them.
No, people really enjoy those. And for those of you that aren't familiar with an oyster roast or how that works, the club members work throughout the day to literally take bushels of oysters, scrub and clean them, prepare them, boil them, and then pour them out on the table. And it's all you can eat.
It is all you can eat. We also have brats. We also have hot dogs. We have hand-cut French fries, homemade chili. It's an all-day event getting ready for the event.
It sure is, and I like the home-cut French fries, but I'm going to be working the chili booth, so I know we'll have all that together. There's beer and wine for an additional charge. Beverages are provided as well, and we want to make sure everyone comes out to see us. And we want to welcome you guys down to the Old Oyster Factory, January 26th. And Michelle, we have tickets for sale at my store, Tabby Chic Boutique.
Also the Carajadabai shop, and also you can pick them up at the Bluffton Chamber, which is located on Gothey Road. And children 12 and under are free with a paying adult.
Okay, and tickets are $25 in advance, $30 the day of the event. Yes, thank you so much for joining me today, Michelle.
Thank you for having me.
And back to you.
Thanks, Rodney. Our Bluffton News Pet of the Week is Jaguar. Stunning eyes and a jet black coat are the first things that strike you when you lay eyes on Jaguar. His outgoing personality with humans and felines alike is sure to impress you as you get to know him. Jaguar is playful and affectionate and just 6 months old. He is the perfect cat for anyone looking to add a little joy and a lot of class to their life. To meet Jaguar or for more information about other adoptable animals, please contact Brookshaven Animal Rescue at 843-757-7387. Thanks for joining us for the news program that is all Bluffton all the time. I'm Anneliza Itkor for the Bluffton News. We'll see you next time.